I'm Damon, and you will see in the midst of it, that's my wife Rahel, and my kids Nias, Monia, and Malena. So I'm from Hong Kong, and we are a little bit funny family because we move around. We have each year around half a year we'll be in Switzerland, and the rest of the time we'll be go around. And since our kids born, they change a lot in our life, especially we start to follow our dreams, to follow our passion, to do what we want. I used to be a graphic designer, so I do graphics for typical commercial work. And since we have Nias, the first child born 10 years ago, and then we started to think about what we want to give our kids. Instead of to give them material things or opportunity, we would like to tell him that go do the things you want, do the things you like, go after your dream, you know. But we realize it's not convincing if we tell them, do it, but I'm not doing it. I'm the one earning money, and you do your thing, but I don't like my job, you know. So we think like, no, we have to start doing something we like. So we started our studio to make art, to sell things from the other artists, to organize concerts, to organize songwriter nights, cultural events, and then one after the other they came, and then it's just beautiful to see the changes. And so I'm gonna show you a little glimpse of a little project of our family. So you see on the picture, that's the idea. We call it Naivety. Basically, it's like a little game. So each of us sit on the table. We have a paper or a card. We start painting, and then after a time, maybe let's say 5 minutes, we will change and switch to the next one. So then the next person will get the one from the previous one, and we'll draw at the same time, as long as we have energy and we're not tired. So through that, we start to create a lot of art as a family. So this is not the art, but it just shows you that sometimes we can get really crazy and clumsy, because when we make art, when we draw things, we realize it's so much that you have to give space when you do it together. Sometimes people change what you're doing. Sometimes the people, they didn't realize you don't want that. And so we start to realize it's like a conversation without speaking. To draw together, to let other people involved in what you're doing is actually not an easy thing. Especially if you have a strong character, you would like to know, I want to keep my style. I don't want someone to come and interrupt. And we realize as artists, we do art, or we would like to do what we do, we have to keep this capacity. Someone might come inside and change around and become something else. So that's something we realize. It started from around, around eight years ago. So I'm always working on the table. I like to work on the table without computer, especially when I'm doing job like illustration. So the kids, they always see me that I'm doing a lot of things on the table. So it's very natural that they will come on the table and say like, Daddy, can I also draw something? And then I'm like, yes, you can draw something, but maybe you can draw something by yourself. You know? And then after time I realized, okay, maybe I can let them involve, and then we can do a little game. And then we started this idea, let's change sometimes, you know. So you have your part in mine, and I have some part in you, in your art you're doing. And so we started to create some artwork, and especially we have a purpose. That was around 7 years ago, or 6 years ago. When I look at you, it seems like 6 years ago. Yeah. 6 years ago, let's say. We are living in Switzerland, in St. Gallen at that time, and our son really would like to see his grandparents. That's my parents in Hong Kong. So he said like, can we fly back to Hong Kong to visit them? And we are like, yeah, it's a good idea, it's nice, but you know, the flight is not that cheap when you have 5 people. So at that time, actually 4 people at first. And then we said, but we can use this game to make our art exhibition. We can fund our flights. So we started painting a lot of things together on the table. So we started to create a series of artworks. So you see that's a lot of elements. Sometimes you might not even realize which one is from me and which one is from the kids, because they like to be influenced. So they start to copy things, they started to create their imagination. And I have to say, I really like the way that to go with the flow, to take a look what they are doing and to construct. So we started to realize it's so important to tell them this collaborative idea we have to construct. We try to avoid interruption. So we try to not to tell artists like, hey, this is not nice, this is wrong, can you change that and that? But we just say this is the idea, like playing Legos, you know. So you construct instead of you just break down the whole thing and make someone upset. So that's the basic idea of it. And then we created, sometimes we just use whatever paint or colors or markers we have, and then we will have fun by just sitting on the table. So sometimes even the kids, they will say like, can we do that again on the table? So it becomes a little bit like quality time for us as a family as well. And inside you will see some craziness, and you will realize every single artwork will become very different because we started in a different time. Sometimes you have different feeling and different mode that you are creating. So you almost cannot really define to say like this is all in a consistent style, but that's also the fun part to create with the kids because they have no limit. They will not think about what would the people think if I draw that and that. So we try to give the space, and this is also becomes the precious element in all this artwork. And sometimes we also say like, okay, let's try without color. That's also fun because you have a single color and you create, you imagine a lot of things through the process. And then, so we, after the exhibition, so we really did, we fund the trip back to Hong Kong. So I think it makes something a lot with us because we realize it works, and even it's like a little dream. And then we carry on, and we just, because the next girl came over, that she born, Malena, she was still little. It becomes the time that we always gather around the table to do this. And even sometimes we might be tired, or we might be exhausted during the day. But then we say like, let's sit down for half an hour and draw together. So we realize how important it is for our relationship because we've been changing around. We have a lot of different circumstances in life, about work, about also our relationship, and also our living status. So we realize this table, it doesn't matter where, but this little space becomes our gathering space. And then afterwards, we went back to Hong Kong actually to be there to live for 2 years until last year. And then it's just a different opportunity come after the other. And especially that's a friend came over and say like, oh, I really like this idea because in Hong Kong it's very rare. And lots of people, they don't spend time as a family anymore. And then we say like, okay, we're gonna try to exhibit something, but we also would like to make some workshop. That means to make some little table during the exhibition and to invite people coming over. So lots of people, they find it very special, and then they came especially for that. And we basically just tell them the idea, and then they can try. And lots of people, they actually look for a lesson. The kids, they can come, and the parents can go and have their tea time, you know. So they have this culture, and we say that no, that's not what we want to do. We want the parents sit down with us, sit with your kids, you're playing with them. You don't interrupt what they're doing, but you just spend time with them. And we realize a lot of people afterwards, they say like, oh, this is the first time ever we did that. To spend time together on the table, and it's not on mobile phone, it's not about work or school, and they just spend time. And then we realized, wow, that's really powerful. So we started doing that, and then one after the other, so we make 3 different exhibitions in Hong Kong, but with a similar concept. And it's very mind-changing for many people. And so for us, it's just very great opportunities. And sometimes we would set up a long table it's not only for kids actually. We also motivate people to say you can be with friends, even in here, even in a bar on a table, or you meet up with people in different ages or strangers. But also it can be family or kids. So sometimes we mix up like a big group that the people they all sit together, and then they don't know each other. So they would make a section maybe around half an hour to 45 minutes, and each 5 minutes we will make a turn. And then at the end, you will see each single artwork are so individual, and it's so beautiful to see that at the end the kids they would like to see also the other one. Like how does it look like? Why? Oh, I draw there, and that's the other person or stuff like that. And they're so passionate. And many parents also say they never see their kids can be so much focused and concentrated in doing something together. And then this is one of the gallery in Hong Kong. They asked us to do the exhibition as well. It's a bit special location. They have a lot of activists, and they're doing a lot of performance out there. And they also like our idea, so they invited us to do that. And then they have a huge window display, and then we don't know what to do. And then we say like, let's let the people paint there, so the people can make the window display colorful. So lots of kids, and you have to understand that a lot of kids in Hong Kong, they have no freedom when they do things. For example, if you give them something to draw, they'll be limited. They say like, no, you have to draw like this, you have to draw like a bird, a sun, a house, stuff like that. So we have this room, we put down some of the paint, some of the colors, we make some area, from there you can paint, and they call it the splash. That means the creative splash. When they get the chance, they stay and they stay forever. You cannot kick them out anymore. And they start to find every single space, every single hole, they paint all over. Even we have a little line we didn't cover, and that's full of color, so that's not very cool for us to clean up afterwards. But that's the effect, and then we realize, wow, that's really remarkable to see the response. So at the end, they just paint over everywhere, even on the window. We didn't expect they would paint on the window, and luckily the guy responsible for the gallery, he said like, that's fine, he'll fix it at the end. So it's just a really funny and exciting experience. And at the end, it's like a window display like this. So you see a mess. Some people, they also put some statement, even political statement. Some people, they draw the face, writing, whatever, and it's just changing from week to week. That was like for 1.5 months. And it's like a live experience for people. They pass by there to see how the people involved. And sometimes you even see the people they draw in like live, like a live stream. So that was really funny and exciting, but also give us a lot of hints that we could continue this idea. So once we passed by a place and we realized the brick on the floor, you can move it. So we just take it out and we say like, we can plant it like a seed. It's just a symbol, So we put one of the cards, we don't know how this happened afterwards. Maybe someone discovered it or it's totally ugly. And then so we put it inside, and we would like that. This is like a little seed. So when we give the people the idea, it's not we want to make money out of them, but we wish that they could carry on and they could start spending time with people, with families, with friends, with the people even they don't know, even the stranger. And this is just a media that we make a game. But apart from this, becomes a relationship, and that's what I would say nowadays we lack of. So that's the idea of the naivety. Thank you.